Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what is the great play-by-email war. So, things are somewhat interesting. We do have a loss of our cavalry over here to contend with, though we do have a 2-star general. Well, sorry, I should say a 2-star commander that I can try and bring back over to France. I'd love to try and get him promoted. If I got him another level there, then Mr. Marie George Peak would be a 3-star. So, we do have a few things to do so far. I mean, we still have this gigantic transportation fleet that I need to get back home to Britain. So I'm going to send that over to Southampton, I do believe. Oh, it's already on the way to Southampton. I've already preempted myself, haven't I? We do have some British divisions over here, so I'm going to send them over there by rail. Right, do we have anything else? We do have some RFC airships. Now, airships could be quite handy. It would give us some nice intelligence. I'm going to send these planes instead, actually. I'm going to have the planes go out over there. And then we'll have this airship reserve head over here to, what is that, Harwich. Then that should be good. I mean, I could send them to Great Yarmouth. Great Yarmouth, they could probably do quite well. It's the same thing, but I'll just send them to Harwich. And then at least we've got that going. We do have the fleet out here. Yeah, they're heading out here. Okay. So we do have a good reserve actually inside Antwerp right now. So that's good for us. Okay, we have our forces over here. We have the Belgian king over here as well. We'll have him come out for the time being. I mean, what is this? Another, like, 6... Oh, no, it's about 12,000 men, so that's still pretty good. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There's the... Is this Jellicoe's fleet? No, this is the combined fleet, isn't it? The battleships. Okay. Where's Jellicoe? Jellicoe was in Calais, wasn't he? No? Where's Jellicoe? Jellicoe, where art thou? Ah, there's Jellicoe. Right, so we have the Grand Fleet. They'll be there in about 15 days. They've got bombardment on. Okay. I'm expecting something with Antwerp. I don't know if he's going to try and assault Antwerp or he's going to leave it for now, but he has moved a significant chunk of his force over there. We do have a lot of German forces to contend with. I am considering making a push over here. I am very much considering that. In fact, I don't think I'll move this force. I think that force will remain stationary. We could attack straight across here to Luxembourg. Right, we have this force. Now, do I want to leave them here? That force would be there in about 3 days. Now, 3 days isn't a long... Well, it's a long time, actually. So, it doesn't seem like a long time, but it really is when we look at this sort of structure. I could try and attack early. If we send this force over here, we could be there within 9 days, and that's not fast enough, really. It's nowhere near fast enough for me. Right, let's just combine these forces once again, and we'll hold them up for now. Now, I do have, what is this, 2 armies in Brie, which is a good amount of force. I'm not gonna lie, that's an amazing amount of men. I think what might be more prudent, actually, is if we actually try and move on Thornville. I do not want an attack on Thornville, I just want to occupy the province. If I could occupy the province, then that cuts off his forces. But then again, I do lose out on this opportunity to attack Luxembourg while it's alone, or Luxembourg while it's alone. I do not believe there's a garrison in there, so that's what is there. Now, if I attacked over here, you could receive reinforcements from here, but we'd have to move a force up. So I think what we might do then is, right. Now, of course, we have this big issue that we don't have any active commanders on the front line. At the worst possible opportunity in time, really, for that to happen. Because I needed them. I needed something. So I think what we'll do then is we'll have these forces move down here. These guys are moving up to Dinant to reinforce the line over there. These forces are moving to Sedan. Yeah. Now, what I could potentially do here is move a lot more forces up to here. Right, we have these reserve forces as well over here. I'm kind of tempted to send some more reserve forces down here to Belfort and Epinal, mostly due to the increase in size of the German force over there. So I might actually send about, what, 4 divisions? So I'll send 4 reserve divisions down here to Belfort. That's a good, what, 49,000 men. Quite a lot there, plus the horses and the cannon. And now, yeah, reason is because this force is not that strong. There's a lot of cavalry here, and not much else. Right, he's a 3-star general. Okay. So I could have Joseph Joffrey command down here. Or Paul Marie. Free. He's not got any defensive capabilities while Paul has 1. I mean, he has 1 Pippin that's, well, defensive capability, so I think I'll have Mr. Paul, or Monsieur Paul, take command of that army. At least then it will be better suited for defensive capabilities. Which I do believe will work out to our advantage. I'm keen to get rid of all this cavalry, or at least send it out to be something of a nuisance. I'd love to have access through Switzerland, but I mean, if we had access through Switzerland, then so would the Germans. And the Austro-Hungarians, and that could work out to be quite dangerous. It would be hell for them if we had them in our camp. Right. Okay. So, we need to assign our diplomats. We still have our diplomat in Bulgaria. I mean, Bulgaria is a very important state. We need to swing them towards us. Of course, we need to swing Italy towards us, so we will continue to focus on Italy. I could do with more generals as well, actually. So that would cost us 3 engagement points and 300 state funds. Now, that is... really, what happens is, if I appoint some generals, I lose some influence in Romania for a turn, and that means Romania is a turn closer to declaring war. So I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to stick with this strategy. I cannot allow the Central Powers to gain more allies in Europe, especially. Especially when we consider the capabilities that Romania could bring to the table. They would allow the Austro-Hungarian armies to strike into the south, go for Odessa, which overall isn't a big problem as such compared to Poland, but I would like to make it easier on my ally, or at least help him out as much as possible. He is a fine player, but he is against the odds here. There's a significant amount of German and Austro-Hungarian strength arrayed against him, and soon to be Ottoman strength. So the key here is for us to prevent the Balkans from joining against him. He still has Serbia. Serbia's holding out quite nicely. I do have a opportunity to help my ally in the south with a land-in force, which is what the plan is going to be. So we have a French cruiser over there. That fleet is heading into Malta. That's good. Right, so we're keeping up the blockade. There's some German submarines over here then. Okay, he's scouting us then. So let's see. Naval interception, see if we can try and detect him and annihilate that submarine force. That does make me somewhat nervous, because if he's scouting out my naval forces and naval disposition out in the North Sea, then that could mean he could try and bring the the North Sea fleet out of the Baltic. And I do not want that. One thing that we need to take into consideration is the weather. Now, the weather is muddy. So, it really comes down to this then. Do we want to throw men at Luxembourg or not? I don't have any active commanders. So, we're kind of limited on that front, quite severely. Quite severely. If I do not act, I could free up an army for use elsewhere. If I do act, I have committed this force to this engagement, which will be bloody, it will lead to casualties, and it may eventually lead to us being repulsed from Germany. I think we may, in fact, wait until the weather is finer, If we get some clear weather and an active general, then I might go for it. But if I can maintain my material superiority, well, superiority I should say, in goods, such as, well, artillery and that sort of thing. We do need to build a hell of a lot more artillery, especially heavy artillery. I might actually work on more French heavy artillery. And more infantry is always welcome to bring the odds down, well, to bring the amount of force arrayed against us to something that's going to be more or less equal to our own forces. I would like some mountaineering troops. They are fantastic, in all honesty. They make your troops move a lot faster, they're just generally tougher, they're just really nice. I mean, the 25% move bonus to a hole, if you're moving through, yeah. I don't know if it counts, no hills or mountains needed, so you can imagine, you get one of these units, right, let's go for this, you get one of these units, and you see here we have, like, what is this, that's clear plains. Yeah, so like hills like this, we'd be able to move through faster. I mean, there's not a lot of hills in this area, but in the area in the south, there's quite a few hills. But in general, it could allow our forces to move a little bit faster. Which is nice. I think I may, in the following turn, start building some more. But I think for now, we might go with some more French infantry divisions. Perhaps. I might go instead for airplanes. Airbase. Fighter. Reconnaissance. Yeah, if I go for some fighters now, fairly early on in the war, we can get these babies out there. We can start shooting down his reconnaissance planes, and then once we start getting, like, bombers and the like that, then we should be in a good position. So I think I might start the construction of some fighters then. Where do I want to build them? I kind of want to build them quite far away from the front line, just in case of any development. So we'll go with, yeah, we'll go with about 2 squadrons of fighters for now. Or maybe 3 squadrons of fighters. Let's see. Yeah, bugger it. We'll go with 4 squadrons of fighters. And then at least we can have a significant force of fighters. We could have, like, 2 deployed in this area, 2, like, I don't know, like, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. And then at least we can have, like, coverage along the front line to shoot down reconnaissance planes. But yeah, considering the fact that we've, spent quite a lot of resources over there, I don't think I will go for the attack. I think I might mass my forces and present what will look like an attack. But ultimately, I do need to focus on Belgium. If I can force the Germans out of Belgium, then we're in a good position, or at least retake some territory in Belgium. Specifically, if I could retake, Brussels. But of course, there is a lot of force in Brussels. A lot of force. So we're going to advance up to about here. That's a little bit more, risky, but we are on conservative attack, so we'll have to see what happens. Okay, let's check our force dispositions elsewhere. We do need to bring these forces in for, well, into port. We'll have to do that once we have the other fleet rested at Malta. Okay, so we have some forces over here in Alexandria. How are we looking with the Ottomans then? It's not going to be long before they join the war, actually. What I might want to actually do then is start setting up some naval forces here. What we could use the Mediterranean fleet for is to take Tripoli. It is Tripoli, that's interesting. I was looking at that thinking, is that correct? Obviously because of Tripoli, well, yeah, the city of Tripoli over, like, here. But yeah, we could strike at Tripoli and Beirut, head towards Homs and destroy the rail, or the line up to there. And the thing is, if we destroy these rail lines down here, it's going to cripple the Ottoman Empire's efforts to strike at Egypt. Well, just chiefly due to the fact that they just can't get there in any good time. And it will slow them down considerably. We do, of course, have to worry about India and Kuwait. Kuwait will fall because I have absolutely nothing there. There's legitimately nothing in Kuwait right now. Which is something I'd rather my enemy did not know. We have the Japanese fleet. They will be here momentarily. They're going to be here in about, what, 11 days. So in about 11 days, we'll have the Japanese fleet to help enforce a blockade upon the Austro-Hungarians, and just in general keep the Mediterranean under British and Entente control. Right, the Japanese forces will be ready in a turn. Fantastic. So as soon as we clean up the Germans in the Pacific, in the east, we can bring Japanese forces to Europe. I mean, it depends really. Do I want to bring Japanese forces to France, or do I want to bring them to another front? It's a big if, really. It's a big if. I'd like to try and bring them over to, like, Serbia or something like that, and then at least we could help keep Serbia propped up. Try and divert resources from the actual fronts that matter back to Serbia. Right. Where is that force? I'm guessing it's the Maltese naval force over here. Yeah, we have a few guys over here. That battlecruiser is out of action for the time being, so let's go to war production. British. Right, we're already doing this, that's good then. Alright, French. We're looking good over there. So, yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to move... Right, that force has moved a long way. I'm going to keep this force here instead then. Okay. And now we have these forces. If I keep them here, I could combine them. And then with Mr. Joseph Joffrey, we could form a new army under Joffrey. Then that's going to be a hell of a lot better for us then. So 16 days, 10 days now. We'll send some reservist forces over there. I do believe, I might send... We'll send 2 divisions of reservists as well to join that new force. And then we should be able to try and get together a new army for the front line, which will be quite beneficial for us. I am worried about the advance into Belgium. It could go badly wrong, but I think it might be okay. Okay, let's take a look at the war resolution then, or the war alignment. So 100% in Germany, 90% in Austria. Okay. We're looking good here. Russia's looking good as well, which is important. Rightio. Have forces in Dijon. Yeah, there's quite a few forces over here that I would... Oh no, they're going to be ready next turn, actually. And these are militia forces. They're not good, but there are men there. They make up the numbers. I could deploy them down here, in that sort of area. Do I really need this force over here of reconnaissance fighters? Well, reconnaissance planes, naval reconnaissance planes. Possibly. It wouldn't hurt, considering that for some reason we don't have Corsica in the game. Corsica would have been fantastic, and I could have positioned balloons over there to keep an eye on it. But as far as I'm aware, the Austro-Hungarian fleet is in one of these ports, most likely Trieste. I doubt there'd be in anything else. They could be in Cataro as well. That's definitely a possibility. Okay. So, no ground offensive this turn. The weather is not suitable, we don't have an active commander, and I'd rather not take the risk with men's lives. So we'll go for that one then. Okay. Depending how the attack goes over here, that will shape things up. But if we can take over here... I mean, it's interesting, really. I want this province here because of the rail connections. If I can take that connection, then we can guarantee the safety of this place, which will be fantastic. Right. Could be there in 19 days, that's not nearly fast enough. We'll go there for 9 days, and at least we'll have some forces nearby to fall back on. But, Herbert Kitchener will lead the forces of the British Expeditionary Army into glorious victory, I do hope. Yeah, a lot of what will come is down to what-ifs, really. It's a lot of what-ifs. So I think with that we'll save the game. Take a quick look over at the Russian front. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I could take a look at Africa. I've kind of neglected Africa, mostly due to the fact that there's not too much going on over here. We do have some forces over here, actually. Let's see. Regular and supply. Well, yeah, regular and supply. We know the strength of this force. How long would it take our forces over here in South Africa to get there? About 30 days. 30 days is relatively good, actually. Okay. So let's see, we have a few forces over here. We have the commander as well. Can we give the commander control of these men? No. Okay. So what we'll do then is we'll have these forces... I mean, I could have them disembark, but that would obviously lead to quite catastrophic losses. So what we'll do then is we'll have these men head into South Africa. These forces will wait here, and then what we'll do then is we'll set up an attack. So we'll have an attack timed with an attack from South Africa. I would like to get Portugal in the war, actually. Portugal. 88%. Okay, we'll take the diplomat from... Shit, we didn't actually get the bloody points back. Fuck, that's really irritating. Okay. Well, that's a pain in the arse, but we'll have to make do then. I was hoping that we could use those points liberated from there to put towards Portugal, but I guess not. And we do have another army division over here, so we're going to send this division over here, professional infantry. There we go. Yeah. So I do believe that we just need to just build our numbers up, really. I mean, if we take a look at the objectives over here, we can see what forces... Yeah. We're not actually that much smaller than the Central Powers. They only have, like, what, another 30% more men than we do? They've taken fairly heavy losses, about 405,000. Okay. So we're gonna go forward then, men. Forward into the annals of history. That is when the game loads. Okay, bombardment over here in Japan. Oh, sorry, the German colony in China. Oh. Right then. Hello guys, once more. Now I do apologise, the game indeed did crash, but well, I had to redo the orders. I had to get the old files from the other players and put them back into the game. So I've decided to go for something different, actually. Namely, I've decided to change the deployments and movements of the British forces. Herbert Kitchener is now active for some reason, so I'm not going to question it, but he's going to travel north. He's going to travel towards this province over here, chiefly due to him being the better commander, and just having... Yeah, just being active, having the most forces and just being active. This force will travel up to here. They'll be there in 10 days via rail. And then we'll have some forces up to here in 8 days, which is not too bad. We have the French army supporting over here. We're still not going to go with the attack over here, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to send some forces out to obviously remake that army as I wanted. And on top of that, we're going to send out this army to Montemedi. Now, what their plan, I think, will be, depending on how the weather turns and how the German deployment turns as well, is I'm going to try and push through the Ardennes. If I can push through the Ardennes and try and block off these rails over here, and then try and just try and cut him off in a way. If I could do that, then that would be great. So I'm going to have him make his way home. That's a rather interesting route. I might as well send him back over here then. So we'll send him back over there then. He'll be there in about 14 days, so at least we'll be able to use him by the next turn. Yeah, there's some things I might have missed, so if I've missed those, I do apologise. It's kind of hard to redo your turns the exact same way again. Just make sure that we're not missing anything, get them to go back into port, make sure about that one. The Japanese will still be on their way, we still have that force over there, that's good to know. Yep, we've done that. Japanese, yep, they're on their way. They'll be there in about 11 days, that's great. Yeah, Congo battle cruiser, as it is a battle cruiser of the state in time. It will one day become a battleship, though. A fast battleship. Right. I do hope it's working properly. I do apologise if it's not, but let's hope for the best, and shall we? Don't get back and round, smile, smile. Right, we've got that done. We've sorted out orders in Africa. Right, let's save the game and hopefully we'll go for it again. I've decided not to actually build those fighters this time. I've gone instead for some heavy artillery over here in the south. I've decided on building some extra infantry divisions in Paris, which will be good, and then on top of that, I've got British heavy guns over here, and then some fighters as well. So at least, we'll have those ready. We can send them across to the continent and not face any reprisal, really. Yeah, they're on their way along with our division from over there, which will be good. We've got the naval forces moving out over here as well. Let's go back over to Asia. Yeah, forces going in there. We'll see what we saw last time over here. I could have them assault. They would take heavy losses, so I think we'll leave that one then. It's doable though, but I'd rather have an actual breach in the city. I've decided to actually spend my points a little bit differently. We're going to put the diplomat towards Portugal, try and bring Portugal into the war. I've also decided to try and print some cash over here, so we're going to use some of that engagement points and state funds. Engagement points and national morale to gain 1,000 state funds, which should be quite handy for us, especially as we need to carry on with our rearmament and just increasing the size of our forces. Right then, let's make sure we get a good turn this time then. So we're going to go with it then. Hell or high water, let's see what happens. And I do hope I've not missed anything. If I have, I do apologise. I will kick myself in the shins later. Ah, dear. Right then, I do hope that it's working out for the other players' orders as well. It should do. It should do. I did check before I started the game once more on my perspective that the other players' armies did have orders. So let's see. Well, at least we're seeing a different part of the front this time. We can see what's going to actually move then, which is better. Right, the bombardment's over there once more. Okay. Right. 13, 14, 15. Right. So another turn without battle, apparently. Let's wait for it to be official. Give it time. Come on, game. Right, so it is indeed official. We have faced no other battle then at this time. Now, the weather has indeed changed. But look at this, we've actually taken some territory over here. Right. Interesting. Very interesting. We're going to destroy the rails over here, of course. So destroy that rail. Well, this is rather intriguing. We could, in effect, try and destroy this army, or at least damage it. I mean, we do have a significant amount of force over here. I don't know if the battleships would contribute with their bombardments if we attacked them. I'd like to think so. I think it might actually be a thing. I think it just has to be some kind of action in the area for them to actively contribute with their bombardment. But we have taken these places back into our full control, so we're going to get these divisions out over here. It's just going to help us out. A few more reinforcements. Right, so we're going to destroy that rail. Okay. So, did we see any shifts in the German line? I do hope that the orders have gone through and that I've not messed it up for the other guys. I really hope so. I mean, I did check and I did see orders over in Germany, so I'm going to assume so. Lord still stands, and that's nice to see. Right. Not too many exchanges on the Russian side that I can see from my point of view, which is a bit of annoyance, but oh well. Alright, let's see then. The Central Powers have made a breach in Antwerp. They inflicted 15 points of damage. They've inflicted a breach in Liege, which is a shame. Right, we've gained some more funds, so that's good for us. Right, Portugal's increased its opinion of us. Right, we didn't actually succeed in our attempt to bring Italy towards our cause, which is a shame. We succeeded in Bulgaria, though. Now, that's good, then. Keeps it about 48, 52, 53, 47 over here. Interesting. We have Portugal at 91. I think I'm going to keep on with Portugal. If we can try and bring them towards our side, then that'd be great. It's going to really open the war up in, in Africa. Now, let's see. We could get some generals over here, or we could put some diplomats into Romania, which I think I will continue to do. I do, of course, have to worry about Afghanistan, but Afghanistan will be an issue that we come up to in the future. I could, of course, print some more state funds, which I think I will do. It's going to bring us down to, like, 100 state... 100 national morale. God, I'm all over the place. But we'll have some more cash on hand from which to build up our forces. Right, we have additional forces down here. So I'm going to take out the cavalry from these forces, and we're going to put some reserves in there. Obviously, even it out. Right, those are proper... So we'll take the weakest reserve out. I couldn't... Well, I could put one in. It's going to put him over command points a little bit, but that's not too bad. I mean, we have 99,000 men here now. That's a significant increase. Absolutely significant. Plus the other men over here. Yeah, that's 15,200 men. Of course, I'll have to take those guys out. I think I'll have these guys over to Epinal, and then we'll have them stay over at Epinal. And then it just increases the strength of that garrison, really. I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and be a little bit sneaky. And I think we're going to try and send some cavalry through this line over here and try and make it. Now, we do have that general over here, so I'm going to bring him down here once more. And he will lead the infantry, sorry, the cavalry across. Right, here we go. We have another army formed for us under the command of Joseph Joffrey. It is Joseph Joffrey indeed, yep. Okay. Oh, good, he's ready to take command of some forces. Sadly, we don't have any support elements in this force, which is a big problem. Hopefully we'll be able to find some support elements in the future. Right. Now, what do we want to do? We have a good amount of force over here. Again, I really do hope that we've not messed this up for the other players, and this is in fact correct and what should have happened. I hope it is. I really do hope so. I'd rather not make that fuck up for my friends. Right, we have a transport squad over here. We'll put that in with them. Yeah. Now, I do need those battle cruisers. Shouldn't we have the Japanese fleet over here? Where are the Japanese? Seriously, where are the Japanese? I thought they would have been here by now. Where's the Japanese Navy? That's a significant amount of forces. Oh? Yeah, these are Japanese. Was this already here or something? I think it might have been, I might have missed it. It's just that these are French. Okay. Why do I have French ships here? What's going on? Why do I have French ships over here? Is this a fleet that should have gone to the Mediterranean? It bloody is, isn't it? Why is it over here? What the hell? Did I not give the orders or something? I'm sure those orders were given. I don't understand. Okay, wow, I'm really confused. 84 days? That's gotta be because of the French in here. I've no idea why French is... What the hell happened? Why are these forces here? These look like the forces I sent to the Mediterranean a long time ago. What's going on? Oh god, I think this is what happens when... I don't even know. I am so confused right now. Okay, I'm really confused about what's happened here. So we'll have these forces head to Hong Kong. Your fleet will be here 25 days. That's a bloody annoyance then. That's freaking crazy. They were meant to be there in about 14 days. God damn it. Yeah, these submarines are completely unsupplied. Fleet is partially unsupplied in Malta. Interesting. Right, these forces are now active. Fantastic. Can't make him a commander for some reason. I find this really irritating with how the game actually functions. It's rather odd, like, you should be able to make these commanders into full-blown army commanders. It's insane. Okay. At least everybody's ready for action. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Oh, we even have forces up here then. Naval Brigade. Oh well, we can put these guys together then. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna have to wait. We can starve them out. There's no problem there. Now, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? It's, somewhat interesting. I think what we're going to do is we're going to repair these rails over here. Have the Belgian king over here, then. Oh, we do have these forces. Why? Oh, god damn it. They should have moved up long ago. Right, we'll have those forces move up then to support our men over here. I could make a rather bold move and move over Brussels, but I think that'd work against me. We can see there's a significant amount of German strength over here now. Right, that's not what I wanted. We need to try and break the rails and make it difficult for the forces. We'll have the Belgian troops link up with their king. Yep, these guys need to cut that rail. If they can cut that rail, then that's vital. We do have a lot of French forces over here now. So it's debatable what I should do with them. I could move the forces over here. Oh, well, over here I should say. But I think we'd be better off moving out into this area here. What I'd like the idea of doing is having a general march to the sound of guns wall going, and if we have a solid advance, then that would work quite nicely. But of course, with the weather, it's kind of pointless. I mean, the weather's muddy over here, but it's snowy over here, which is a complete reversal of last turn situation, which is somewhat difficult to see. Yeah, I'm rather worried that we didn't actually see any Germans move around, so yeah. I don't know, he might not have done much. There's not too much he could have done, really. Right, I do need these munitions resupplied, so we'll send them over to a supply depot. Let's figure out where. Where do we build munitions? Is it just Paris? So I guess it'll be to Paris. We could do with building a munitions depot further up on the line. That would be quite beneficial to us. Can we do that? No, we need engagement points. Dearie, dearie, dear. I think I might just keep on building heavy artillery. I think it will come to a point where we do need it. And it would be very, very nice for us to have. But we'll see when we get to that point then, I guess. Right, these forces building. Oh, we have another division here as well. Okay. Yes, that's two divisions. Two groups of Air Force. Of course, these are admirals, so I don't really want to be putting them with admirals. Okay. Militia forces over there. How long until these are ready? They'll be about 44 days, so what, like 3 turns? That's a significant investment of time. Right, we know there's a submarine around this area. Yep, so a lot of militia have just activated. That's good then. Okay. Japanese units have been relocated to Japan. Oh, really? Wow. Ah, that's really crap. So that's why they actually did make it to the Mediterranean, or they would have. It's just the fact that they're not allowed in the Mediterranean, and that's kind of annoying. Ah, hello. Adrian helm and uniforms. At the outbreak of the war, the French army's uniforms were geared more towards the parades than the battlefield, with their bright red trousers being particularly problematic and easy for the enemy to spot. The heavy losses sustained by the French in 1914 led to these uniforms being replaced by the darker horizon blue uniform, and led to the French adopting the first steel helmets. Wow, we would gain 50 points towards the infantry tag. Right then, so we are of course in December 1914, so technology is now active, I do believe. Which is not too good really, because now we have to keep up with that. Wow, we suffered a lot of hits out here. I need to maintain them out at sea though. I need to maintain that force. We'll be able to replenish them in time, but I need to keep them there in case of German attack on the fortress of Antwerp, and in case we actually try to attack ourselves. Which I don't think is too likely. Of course, if you guys want to comment and give me some suggestions on what your thoughts are on the matter at hand, then we might be able to come together with some kind of solution to our problems. Right. That's fallen to the Serbs by the looks. That's quite nice. Okay. How has the diplomatic standing gone then? Italy is still 53-47. Romania is now 1585, so that's a heavy shift towards the Central Powers. Portugal is 91-9. Yeah, we know about that one, that's good. 48-52. That's good then, I mean, that's the best thing we can get. The Ottoman Empire is 1684. Okay. So in a few turns we'll be able to bring the Portuguese into the war. Which should be beneficial for all of us, really. So, yes guys, thank you for watching. It's been a somewhat uneventful turn, but this is the First World War, and kind of was like that quite often. But we do have something of a solid front line. Now, it really depends what we want to do. I could of course try and strike at Alexander von Kluck. Try and form up a proper British army. Okay. We could advance this new army into the Ardennes. Which I think I will do, actually. Yeah. So we'll advance into the Ardennes. We'll advance to this area over here, then. And then I believe what we'll do is... Oh, we do have these forces. You will be sent over there, of course, to lead that cavalry force. We do have some more men over here. I mean, this is another, what, 36,000 men, of course. What I want to do with 36,000 men, quite a lot of things. But I think I'll have them move over to this area over here, and then at least we can support any attacks should we need them. Actually, I do need a commander, preferably a French commander. But of course, we're lacking on those, so that's a problem. So instead, we'll move them up to Dinat. We can have this force move over here. So we'll have them shift over here then. 1 day, that's really good actually, we'll be there in 1 day. So then what we can do is we can leave these French artillerymen over here. Oh well, I'll leave the French artillery here then. We'll have this force move up to join Herbert Kitchener. 15 days, that'll do then I guess. Yeah, so we're going to mass forces over here then. I mean, this is quite dangerous. This is quite dangerous. Because, of course, I am opening myself up to German attacks, which could come. They could definitely come. But then again, we are forcing the Germans to think about their situation in Belgium, and as well their situation on the border. If I can get 3 cavalry divisions out through here, across the hills into Germany, then we could do quite a bit of damage and harass them quite nicely. Yeah, that rail line's been broken, that's really important. But yeah... The more I can do in the west, the more it helps my Russian ally. That's what's important. So yes, thank you guys for watching. I do apologise for this being uneventful once again. And do not forget to like, favourite, and subscribe if you'd be so kind. Also, don't be afraid to comment down below and let me know what you think. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the future. So goodbye for now.